Very fascinating campaign.
Well, tell me all about it. I know that you are supporting.
I just want to say really quick, preface this. This was from October 26, 2004, hour 2. Margaret Gray talks about Phil's show that he's never going to be appreciated in his time. And it's true. I actually think it was a pretty interesting conversation between Phil Hendrie and Margaret Gray, one of his characters. Here it is. It's worth listening to.
Senator Kerry.
Can I?
What?
You know something, Phil? I want to do something different if I could.
You want to do something different?
I really do, Phil. I think it's time to do this because I've heard the frustration in your voice. And
what do you want to do?
I want to do an analysis, not just of your radio show. I want to do an analysis of your career, Phil.
Wait. Look, I want to talk.
No, Phil, just listen. I am here to help you. And I've been hearing the frustration in your voice recently as you field phone calls and execute your radio show in a way that is really remarkable. But I really think, Phil, you would be happier if you were doing a different kind of show.
Margaret, I want to talk about the...
Phil, please, allow me, someone who has known you for 14 years, ever since Ventura, right?
Yes, you have.
I was there before anyone else, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Then would you allow me this analysis, please?
I don't know how interesting this is going to be for the...
Who cares what the audience thinks? I'm talking about you.
Look...
Oh, Phil, just let your pride drop for just a few minutes here. You know something? When you first came on the air with this idea of playing the part of different characters that would fool audience callers, I remember you got to Los Angeles in 1996. You really started doing it in 1990, back in Ventura, didn't you?
Yes, I did. This is very embarrassing.
Would you just allow me?
Go ahead.
Since then, there have been a number of television shows on the air, such as Joe Millionaire and My Big, Fat, Obnoxious Fiancé and the like, that have really taken the basic idea of your show and spun it into TV gold. Have you seen any of that money?
Of course I haven't.
No, but your program has inspired countless television writers in the Los Angeles area, countless creators of television programs across the country, and you haven't been given any credit. You afford America some of the smartest humor on radio and perhaps America's foremost satirical presentation, and yet you've just lost your San Francisco affiliate, haven't you?
Margaret, this is embarrassing.
Haven't you?
Yes, I did. Today I got the news that San Francisco dropped us.
And why? I'll tell you why. Because they've got their little Bill O'Reilly radio station up there with their Michael Savages, and they don't know how to present you, do they, Phil? Because you're neither fish nor fowl, in the words of one of the more brain surgeon types at your company, aren't you?
What is your point?
My point is this. You are, for want of a better word, Phil, God forgive me, you are a schmuck. You're a bright, creative...
Thank you very much.
Phil, listen to me. You're a bright, creative, talented beyond measure young man in a world that doesn't get it and doesn't appreciate it. Phil, you are what we know on life to be an iconoclast. You're like Van Gogh, never to be recognized in your lifetime. Like Lenny Bruce, the man you idolize, who wound up dead on a bathroom floor. And so therefore it's time, Phil, to give it up. It's time to start looking out for your family. You see, Phil, I'm not just Margaret Gray. I'm the ghost of Christmas could be.
What?
Let me show you. Phil, you could have done a radio show like most guys.
What do you mean?
I mean. Listen to this.
And so today we have Councilman Rickard on to talk about the bond issue that will provide some 200 yards of desperately needed new sewer in the Tujunga area. Welcome, Councilman Rickard.
Thank you, Phil.
Tell me, the people of the Tujunga area have been very badly served by the lack of sewage, and this was one of your main campaign issues.
It certainly was, and...
Just move the microphone in, Councilman.
Yes, it certainly was, Phil, and we've... very happy to report that as of January 3rd, when the new bond issue becomes effective, we will have not only 200 yards of new sewer line, but we're also going to be providing a pump area and some sewer management as well as water purification.
So that's something that has been in the in the you look a little bored. No, I'm not. Yes, you look.
Phil, that can be you, Phil, secure and safe at a news talk station where you can interview newsmakers. You're not the newsmaker, of course, but at least you could be interviewing them.
I don't want to do that kind of radio. I want to do the kind of radio that I want to do.
You're a schmuck, Phil. A schmuck that people will continue to rip off. Phil, listen to me.
A schmuck, huh? Look, all I know is what I know, and...
Phil, listen. You could be a sports talk host. Imagine yourself, Phil. Jim, Rome.
I'll tell you right now, I think the Patriots are, bar none, the best team in football. And right now, Coach Bill Belichick is doing a phenomenal job. Certainly did a great job on the New York Jet offense last Sunday. And if what I think is going to happen does happen, I think we're looking at the Patriots to repeat. Let's go to Barney. Barney, what do you think?
Yeah, Phil, thanks a lot. Listen, I don't think you're giving Chad Pennington of the Jets enough credit. I think that Coach Edwards, Pennington was injured last year.
No doubt about that, but you can see where the Patriot defense was able to get to Pennington, had to dink off those 5-yarders, first down, little 5-yard dink passes, passing around, And Curtis Martin, God bless Curtis, just not the running back that he used to be. And I'm just saying that these people are good.
Yeah, well, how about that, Phil? A sports talk host, an individual that could speak to the men of America. Isn't that fun?
I don't want to do sports. I don't want to do news talk, okay?
But, Phil, no one's listening to your lousy show with your made-up voices and your silly little guests. And, today I'm going to talk to R.C. Collins. And
well, thank you for demeaning it. Look, I know that it's kind of weird, and I know...
The radio stations don't know how to promote it. The people don't know what it is that they're listening to. You're frightening people, Phil. What about this, Phil?
No, I won't do it.
No, really. What about being a classic rock jock? Playing the songs that people want to hear instead of trying to be the star yourself.
The Allman Brothers and Ramblin' Man. And just ahead of that, we heard Pat Benatar with You're a Heartbreaker. And, of course, we started out with Grateful Dead and Touch of Grey. Phil Hendrie with you here on the Classic Rock outlet for all of the Modesto Valley. 91.3. Say, listen, this weekend, don't miss Dave Matthews. He'll be at the amphitheater. If you want to win tickets to see Dave Matthews, I'll take the... How about if we take the 31st? No, let's take the 33rd. No, let's take the 35th. No, you know what I want to do? I want to take the 19th. Well... Okay, let's take the 19th caller. The 19th caller wins tickets to see Dave Matthews this weekend at the amphitheater. And, of course, opening up for Dave Matthews will be Jethro Tull and the Young Dubliners. Now, give us a call right now on our hotline, and you'll be able to get those.
What about that, Phil?
I did that. I was a classic rock jock.
And you know something? That's the last time you did your big 6 figures as a disc jockey, wasn't it?
Well, I happen to be making more money now.
More money, but no one knows what you're talking about. He does these funny voices, and people call in and think they're real. Oh, my God, Phil, you'll never be able to explain that to anyone. Not even a brain surgeon like Howard Stern can get it. What makes you think this is going to be anything other, Phil, than some strange anomaly on the radio? What about being a local weatherman on television? Have you thought?
I don't. Oh, yeah. What you mean, like Garth Kemp?
Exactly like Garth Kemp. He left KLOS, and now he's doing a wonderful job there on ABC, doing the weather. Isn't that great? You could be glib, and you could be joyful, and you could...
Okay, thanks a lot, Tony. Boy, I'll tell you something. If you guys were out in that rain today, you saw what I saw. The surf down at Santa Monica and Malibu is really threatening a lot of those houses, Jerry, and I just don't know if the people there are safe, so we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Okay, thanks a lot. All right, so let's take a look at our weather for yesterday so you can see this low-pressure trough coming in right here along the coast, and you're going to be seeing some low temperatures in the inland valleys. But along the coast, it seems to be warming up just a little bit as we see some of that marine layer coming in. Now, right here, see this little guy right here? Huh? See, that's what's called a low-pressure front. That's going to move and sweep on down through the L.A. basin, and tomorrow we should have a very beautiful day in store, absolutely, and I think it's just going to be really good for the old SC game in UCLA. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so very deeply. Thanks a lot for paying attention to me. Okay, thanks. Thank you.
That's right, Phil. A TV weatherman. Phil, so many who have failed at radio become weathermen, and they're affable and they're friendly. Plus, you get glib, and you can have fun, and you can do all of those wonderful things. But instead, you opted for the most difficult of all lives, trying to be an original in a sea of unoriginality. Don't you realize that original people are not admired, Phil? They're despised.
Don't say that. That's the one thing I fear.
It's true, Phil. Original people are not admired. They are despised. They are hated by all around them because they're the ones that remind everyone else of how just so matter-of-fact they are, Phil. People don't like you. They hate you. You remind them of how unoriginal they are. Better to blend in, Phil.
I won't do it. I'm just not going to do it.
Better to blend in, to blend in, to blend in, to blend in.
I won't do it. I'm not going to do it. I won't do it. I'm not going to blend in. I'm not going to blend in. I'm not going to blend in.
30 seconds, Phil.
Huh?
30 seconds.
To what?
We're starting the show in 30 seconds. What are you doing, taking a nap?
No. I wasn't taking a nap. 30 seconds?
Yeah, taking 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1.
The Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Rather be playing Madden 2003. 449-8686. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
Time now for Margaret Gray's Campaign 2004 report. And Margaret joins us now from the end of the campaign trail, winding down in, where are you, in Ohio, Margaret?
I am, Phil. Actually, I'm in a little city by the name of Akron, Ohio, and I know that you visited there a number of years ago. Senator Kerry is doing some last-minute campaigning here in what are called one of the swing states, as well as Wisconsin and Florida and Pennsylvania, very important states for the senator. And along the way, as I close out covering the senator's campaign, trying to be as objective as I can, I've got a theory, and I suppose some people might think it's one of those theories that's been proven, but I've really come across so many different people in this campaign, some voting for Kerry, some who claim they're going to vote for Bush. I find that the average voter for Bush, or at least the average individual who claims he's going to vote for Bush, is not as intelligent as the average voter for Kerry, or the people who say they will.
Now, how do you determine that? I'm just interested. How is that determined?
It's really a sense that I have, Phil, and it's a sense that I've developed over many years as a reporter. You look at people and you size them up, and you find them to be not very bright.
One more similar small little bit from November 16th, 2001, where he also kind of talks about his radio show and how it's perceived by people. I think it's pretty good. And then I'm going to stop the stream and come back normally. Here it is.
No, my radio listening days are gone, man. Dead and buried. Nothing, no comment beyond that. I'm not going to make any comment beyond that. I just don't do it anymore. I'm sure you get home, hey, let's listen to the radio. I know. I mean, look I'm on the air at night in a lot of places. And for the most part, I have listeners in cars, and that's normal. But going home and listening to the radio at night, the only blind people do that. Am I right or wrong? Most people go, huh? I'm mean because I'm saying the obvious. The only people that go home at night and listen to the radio are blind people or people that have work to do in the office. Or if they're on their internet, maybe they'll listen to the show. But most people go home at night and watch TV or eat and read or something like, I don't know, or go out to dinner. The driving around at night, I understand, people will listen to our show in the car. And I think the last time I heard the statistics on that, I think 80 or 90% of our listeners are in-car listeners. And we do have some at-work listeners, and I understand that, too, when you're working. But again, going home and listening to the radio, I've never done it. Unless if there was a bit that we were doing I was listening to driving home, then I might check it out. I will be perfectly honest with you when I say this. And I don't know how to say this without sounding too egocentric, but really, truly, the only show that I listen to that makes me laugh is this one, when I listen to our tape replay at night. And I think it's time that we say the obvious. I think it's time that we say what we haven't said before, this is probably the funniest radio show in America. I've heard them all. I've listened to all of them. I've listened to all the shtick. This show, not only is this show the funniest show in America, this show is a smart show. We make a lot of smart points. In fact, this show is so smart that the dumb people think it's dumb. And I don't know how far we'll get with this show and how great we will become or how famous we'll become and how popular we'll become, but this show will always be, for its time and place in the history of the media in America, this show will have been the funniest thing on the air. I don't know of anything else funnier, and I've heard them all, everybody. Pound for pound, man, when we nail it here, it is a gut laugh. It's a belly laugh. It's tears coming down the face, and it's drive your car off the road and kill 6 people funny. And I've listened to all kinds of radio. I never had a show make me laugh like that. I can listen to this show, and I hear it. So we will now say it. We will send the message far and wide to friend and foe alike that a new torch has been passed to a new generation of radio listener in America, that the Phil Hendrie Show is now officially the funniest radio show on the dial in America, in North America. I love me. God, I wish I had some of that backwards music. I could play it. All right, our number is 1-800-449-8686. Phil Hendrie Show.
One 800-449-8686. And now, Phil Hendrie.
And now, the Phil Hendrie Show presents NFL Picks with Joe Dickhead and the Professor.
Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Joe Dickhead and the Professor with a big NFL pick.
He didn't character. They say, oh, he's just being silly. Whereas Lee Hamilton, he's a Nazi. Now, here's what I've been trying to say for 28 years. Everybody in radio plays a character. Nobody who does a radio show is being themselves. But because of the big mouths that work in talk radio and sports talk radio saying that they tell it like it is, because these guys got to be big fat mouths and say, we're honest about how we feel. We tell it like it is. We don't hold anything back. Well, you don't hold anything back, then you must be an asshole because you said the guy's a fat chap. Now, if you would have said, oh, well, it's just a radio show and it's a form of entertainment, I didn't really mean to say it, then you know what? You keep your job because people say, well, he's being satirical. But these guys have painted themselves into a corner by saying, hey, man, I'm honest and I tell it like it is and that guy's a fat chap. Oops. You're out of a gig. Whereas me, I'm different from all them guys. What I say is, this is bullcrap. All my characters are a load, and even the character that I play on the air, the Phil Hendrie character, this is really not the guy that goes home at night. I don't talk this way to my kids and my wife. I don't have animated conversations with my friends this way. I only talk this way when I'm on the air. Now, maybe this is a real side of myself that I don't allow the rest of the world to see when I'm off the air. Fact is, this is not a guy. When's the last time, Janice, you saw me talking like this, waving my hands around and acting like an asshole off of the air, other than this afternoon and yesterday afternoon? When's the last time? We all play a character. We all play a character because this is all an entertainment vehicle. But for some reason, I don't know why, individuals in this medium, in this format, would like you to believe that they tell it like it is and this is who they really are, so that when they say fat chap, nobody forgives them for that. Yesterday on this show, yesterday on our radio show, we had Bob McGraw from McGraw Industries say that he has a Christmas tree lot at which he set up an Osama bin Laden dummy, and men can go up and simulate sodomy for $5 every 3 hip pumps. I'm still working today. And why is that? Well, I didn't want to say. I don't really like talking about myself, but let's. It's because we are master craftsmen. We are the master skillful operators of this thing called satire. We know exactly how to present a point of view and at the same time make people laugh. That's why I'm here. And that's why poor Lee Well, he got canned from a Minnesota Viking, or he had to resign from Minnesota Viking. I'm going to tell you something. I know how it is. I worked for a year in Minnesota. I worked for a year in Minneapolis. It is the most backward group of broadcasters in the world. In the city of Minneapolis and St. Paul, the combined media of that town is some of the most backward that I've ever seen in my life. I worked for a radio station. I don't want to mention any names because there's a lot of nice people at WCCO. But, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say. But they were about...
Right there. See, nobody else does that. I don't want to say who it was. WCCO. He's the best, dude. Nobody's fucking better.